Okay. Hello? We shall see how and if that even works. How are you doing, guys? I should try to look more clean for you. What's that? Oh. I'm not dirty. Just look like it. How are you this early afternoon? Hey, Freeze Devil 1990. I guess that's the birth year. Hey, Johan. I managed to get some work done this morning, so we can stream a bit. And no stream in the evening because it's Pro Series again, and weather is too good. We have a garden to manage. Grab popcorn. Hey, I'm going into this unbiased, okay? Or as unbiased as I can be. Hey Sascha. Ja, also mal schauen. Ich hab's schon runtergeladen. So guys, I did start to download it, or no, it's done. It's done. So my download has always been fine. It's the upload that Vodafone had issues with, but I think that's also fine now. So we should be good on paper. Need to manage a few windows here because this is overwhelming. I have too much stuff open. We need to close that. We could probably close a few browser windows. Yes. By the way, guy, I put links in the description. It's a little further down. I've updated the entire hardware guide on Popometer. Mainly adding new affiliate links. But no, we've also formed a few categories now, like a cheap entry-level category all the way up to pro level, and sorted all the equipment along those lines. So if you want to check that out, go to popometer.io, and then in the top menu it's Guy's Hardware Guide or something. I didn't pay nothing. I paid nothing. I'll have the free version, guys. So we'll have a look at the free version, not anything extra. I have so much stuff running in the background. Just give me a second. I guess we'll leave the wheel driver at 900 degrees. You're testing Rennsport before GT6. Well, I don't have a PlayStation. That's a bit of an issue. Oh, GTA 6. Oh, well. Warning, audio quality is below expectations. Well, that's not my problem, YouTube. I think we're fine. At least, I think we are. There's no special thing in terms of audio that is wrong. That's the microphone, okay. Weird stuff. Properties. Yeah, no, I think we're good. Audio wise, output audio 192. How much bitrate does it want? I think we're good. Image froze, screen froze, cameras froze. Oh yeah, for me too. Interesting. Why? What happened to our little camera here? Probably I'll restart the cam 1 sec. It's a weird one. And it's back. It had lags before. Yeah, maybe it was some other background tool using the camera or so. I don't know. We'll find out. Something in the browser, perhaps. Who knows? Okay. Let's find a way to start the game. So where's the look, guys, when I'm looking like this is all down to the steering wheel covering the bottom part of the screen. So I'm always looking for the open apps somehow through the steering wheel. Perhaps it's time to go away from a round rim and get a GSI rim or something. Formula One with a display, and then maybe I can see my taskbar. Isn't the open beta mainly a way of trying to get some cash? It seems they haven't come very far in the last month. Well, I don't know. We're here to find out. Okay, let's see if that's the first thing we do is if the driving has changed. There's a point. If the driving hasn't changed, then you're probably right. Yeah, but I'll need to speak to Dan Suzuki. We need to strike a deal. I need to be official partner or whatever of GSI rims. They look fantastic. Like I don't think there's anyone that looks alike. Same quality, blah blah. I have huge trust in Dan Suzuki. Like having him involved in any project is probably means it's top notch. Dan will build me a custom one on his stream. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the way forward. Okay, let me turn off some music, and then we start the Epic launcher, and there is Rennsport, and then we just click on it and see what happens. Next thing I will have to do is tell OBS to find it, because it often doesn't. It needs network access. Okay, go ahead. Epic Games Launcher. Okay, there's no game just yet. I'll have to wait for that a second. How do we actually grab the game here? Rennsport, let's see. There it is, and it is centered right away. Yeah, there's the founders pack. So first thing, let's make sure the music volume is off. It is. I think it found some settings I already had. Master, ambient low, chassis low, damage low, engine up, tires up. Looks like it. Yeah, I'm kind of already logged in. Okay, so it seems the open beta is using the same documents folder as the ESL version, which I deleted earlier. Okay, so probably also my control settings are already working. Yeah, look at that. But it's stopping there. Why? Why is it stopping here when I said 900 degrees? But anyway, it's... Ah yeah, so you can't see that because we don't have an overlay. But so initial throttle is fine, but I'm reaching 100% throttle with a good 5% to go or something. So throttle, scale, dead zone, offset. Is it the offset? Then the lower part is dead, but the higher part matches more. So this is. I mean, we had this in ESL already. But this is a bit confusing, having scale, offset, dead zone. I know they want to give us options there, but I feel... Let's try dead zone. That just makes it worse. So we need a negative dead zone on top. Or a smaller scale. Let's try smaller scale. That's closer. Let's try even smaller. Now we're not reaching... So that's the easiest way then. Press full throttle. And then just adjust the scale until you reach 100. And probably just add 1% extra so we have a bit of room on the top there. Nah. Calibration doesn't work, or it didn't in the past. Press the throttle all the way down. Then release it and press next to proceed. Next. Press the brake all the way down. The thing is, it doesn't calibrate like iRacing, right? It takes whatever I set in DI view as the maximum, so this kind of doesn't make sense. And I want to have this. It's all taking it from Windows, so this is correct anyway. Press the clutch pedal all the way down. There we go. Engine starter automatic, good. So let's see. That still works. So it didn't break it at least, so we're good. DirectX 12. Oh, let's see. Okay, we go one by one. So I guess we do have upshift, downshift. We do not have. Why do we go bindings? See, that would be one thing. Some games do this correct, some don't yet. When I press a button on the wheel, like I don't know the numbers, right? Yeah, no, they highlighted. Look at it, they highlighted. So that's fine. So that's fine. But where is shifting? Why is shifting not prominent here? I guess it's somewhere else. Is shifting here? Ah, yeah. Up and down shifts are here for some reason. There's the downshift with a green marker. And where's the upshift? Upshift is here for whatever reason. Okay. No deal breakers. That's fine, I guess. Let's see. And one trick I did in Rennsport always was, maybe you can take this from me already. The center of the steering in the game is extremely sensitive. So if you just decrease the sensitivity, like let's make it massive, okay? Let's make it 50. Then it doesn't do anything anymore. Interesting. Oh, that's throttle. My fault. Sorry, guys. We need to do this with the steering, of course, not the throttle. That was pretty dumb, actually. Here, sensitivity. Let's go very low. And now my steering wheel in front of me is turned 90 degrees. But at some point they match again, almost like here. This is where they match again. But around the center, it gets less sensitive. This is a workaround, because I found the game to be a little too sensitive around the center and the car would always overreact. So I just went lower a little on the sensitivity, but for now we keep it at 1, okay? Just to see how it is now, actually. So then I think all the other bindings we won't need. Everything is still working. Force feedback, I guess we'll leave at that for now as well until we go to the track. So I think bullet for justice. Let's see if I'm biased or not. We'll find out today. So it's all working. Video, DirectX 12. Found the monitor, full screen. Windowed full screen. DLSS on performance, balance, quality. Well, we're comparing to ACC, and there we run ultra quality. Tiny bit extra sharpness. NVIDIA reflex, interesting. We take that. Frame rate limit, menu frame rate. We don't need that much, really. Just save some clouds, blah, blah, blah. We want to realistic. We want to see how it performs when it's looking good, okay? Is there epic? Shall we try epic? We try. Vehicle headlight shadows, current, all vehicles. Motion blur, no. I don't have motion blur IRL. Rendering, apply. What's interesting, Jakub? I don't feel the brake after calibrating. I have a fanatic load cell. I don't feel the brake. You fell the brake? What's interesting, Jakub? Car internal mirrors displaying, external mirrors displaying, virtual mirror displaying. Also a bit much, but we take him. Use one render target. Yeah, that produces performance impact. But we'll keep it normal. Mirror rendering distance 50 is a little low. Let's try. I mean, we're going to have dive bombs from as far as 150 meters back, so might as well see them. Okay. I think we just stick with that. All right. Save. Do you want to save them? Yes, go ahead. No way to choose the default screen. But the other thing with ACC is it's hyper flexible with the screen. You can open ACC, change your screens, move the game over with Windows and arrow keys, press Alt Enter, and it's going to have the resolution it needs. At least here. Might not work everywhere. I think let's just go into the game, okay? How do we do that, actually? My Rennsport. Play. Play might be a good button. We're not buying anything. Official contests. What do we have? Is there anything happening? What's the time? 1:40. There's nothing happening until 3 p.m. So we shall see I guess. Hypercars. GT3. GT3 is locked for whatever reason. Ah, because I don't have the 24-hour layout, so we're not doing that apparently. Okay, so no online right now. Do I get this right? No online right now. It only starts kind of in 2 hours. Hey VR guy, hey everyone. Okay, a lot of people joined, so let's see. So this track, I don't have it, so we're not gonna drive it. Let's see what we actually have. Can we see somewhere what kind of we have? Quick session, time trial. Quick session probably. So what are the cars I have? We have the GT3s, we have GT4s, we have one hypercar, we have two hypercars. We have the Praga. Oh, okay, so only one car we don't have because Founders Pack. The GT 911 GTR Rennsport. Good. Okay, we can just not have that. What are we driving? I want to try the hybrids right away because the GT3s are already known. We have a GT3 Sim. Hockenheim. What's going to be a good one? Community content. Community content. Well, is it going to be Spa again, guys? TC cars? We can drive them all. That's just 3 classes, okay? But let's start with the fast ones. Perhaps. I think we're going to be Fuji or so. But yeah, it's probably Road Atlanta. I think Road Atlanta because the straights aren't that long. On Daytona, we drive straight for a long time. Spa, we've seen a billion times. Monza, we drive straight for a long time. So I guess it's Road Atlanta. If I remember where I'm going. You want TCRs first, okay? I see. People don't actually. Why do people not care for the hypercars? But okay, so there's just one TCR. Oh, we're gonna be. It's gonna be a Hyundai because we're not driving the Audi. Always has been. SB Racing. Hey, ganz gut, danke dir. Dir auch hoffentlich. Okay, I'll just press start now. All right, let's see what happens. Oh, it's looks like Nordschleife. Or the loading screen is Nordschleife. The good thing seems to be what Rennsport inherits from the Unreal Engine, just like ACC, is that it loads hyper fast. But what I can tell you is it does not inherit the FPS. You can see it on top of the screen, probably. That is saying 90. That is frankly undrivable. The view. How do we adjust the view? Does anybody know? Gameplay, probably. Field of view. Yeah, the field of view is different in this game. You are not, like, if I put it to what I have in ACC, so apparently they use a different field of view calculator, so I kept it on 90, I think. Let me go a little further back, 95. Distance inside the cockpit or not? I think we all kept it on 90, to be fair. Something like that. Lateral, no. Height. Because I can't really get a view where we reasonably see the steering wheel unless going way further back with the FOV or the distance, but that's the maximum I get. So we have interior beam camera. Does this give more options? No. We always have to increase FOV to see the steering wheel and dash at all, which is a bit weird. Hood, doesn't matter. Hood, reverse, blah, blah. Or behind, interior, reverse. Interesting camera. Near, behind, interior. Okay, so that's a normal one, I guess. And we are not really getting in a position where we can actually see something. Is there... There's no angle. I'm just joking with the car choice, mate. Yes, the LSS is active, but it is on. Right, let's go over to graphics. It's on quality because I'm pretending it has to perform like ACC, but apparently it definitely doesn't. So if we put it on performance, yes. Let's see if we have more now. It's 100 now. Great. And I can already tell you we should probably be turning the LSS off because I feel the LSS is the actual bottleneck. Off. Wait for it. Enter. And now the GPU is starting to draw some power, but we have less FPS. So cool. We should use Epic probably. Let's try with high and try balanced. And let's see where we end up with that. Bam. Ah, now there's FPS. Look at that. Just from epic to high, it's a major, or it's not. No, we have 100. NVIDIA Reflex on enable and boost, somebody says. Ah. Okay, let's see what that does. But why would it increase FPS? Does that make any sense to anyone? Doesn't change FPS, of course. Yeah. Okay, we have engine sound, which I guess is fine. Is this loud enough for you guys? So 100 FPS. I think we need a little more, right? We wanna have something like 120. What do we need to do to get to 120? Well, it's gonna mean we're going to medium preset, I guess. Let's see how much that gives us. Another 10. I mean, it's gonna be fine, but... Oh, now that we're driving, it's back to 90. But the thing is, the problem is, it is not drawing power from the GPU. It's drawing like 180 watts, which is way too little. 1 sec, I need to make sure I give it full beans. Apply. Now it's drawing... No, it's drawing 180 watts out of 450 possible. So it's... It's not optimized. Not at all optimized, if you ask me, then. But okay, looks like we have to take it from here. Or do we try more? Do we go esports settings? I think that Zasha has experience with esports settings. How do we make it look horrible? Let's try ultra performance. How much do we get from that? Oh, and looks very soft now. Nice. 110. Yeah, okay. Remember, guys, I have a 4090 in the PC, okay? So we're on low now. 130. That's drivable. 7800 X3D, yes. You can't see it. Wait 1 sec, maybe I can show you. No, can you see it? No. I would have to. 1 sec, I'll bring it up, guys. 1 sec. Give me a second. You shall see the performance stats because we're testing the game and you are supposed to know. 1800. Oh. Can I move this? Can I now move this further? It needs to be. Ah, okay. So 1. Ah, come on. Takes a moment, guys. I need to move the UI, and it's only going to take 500 seconds or whatever to move it far enough. Probably 1800 or something. 1 sec. You should see it on stream. Almost. 1 sec. So we need at least like another 10,000 pixels. It's gonna be at 3000 or something. 1 sec. It's weird. I just can't type 3000 here. We'll be there. To 8, to 9, and 3000. So now you can see the performance stats, okay? The graphics card is allowed to use 110% of what it can do. And, well, the CPU is not limited at all. So now you can see that total CPU usage is irrelevant because everything is probably single thread. So we're looking at max CPU thread usage, which is 60-70% or something. So it's not limited there. And you can also see the GPU is not limiting. So something else is limiting. I don't know what it is. Perhaps it's the LSS. I don't know. Last test. Let's turn the LSS off for a second here. Just to see what happens to the voltage. Not the voltage, the wattage. And now it's drawing a little more power, 210. But this is weird because it should draw something like 400 now or so. So there are other limitations I don't get right now. So we keep that on balance or whatever. Enough memory, what, 32 or whatever? Doubt that's the limiting factor for a single car on a track. Well, if it's CPU bottleneck with me not driving, well, good luck. But it certainly doesn't have multi-threading. I don't think any racing game has. It comes across a bit choppy to me. Yeah, well, I'm on low settings now, right? So just to get some FPS here. So we're probably being unfair. Medium, let's try medium at least, and then we stick to this for now. Which gives us a little over 100 FPS. But yeah, it's lagging a bit. It's not running. There's some choppiness. Yeah, one sec. Let me see if where do I have the frame times? Frame times. Think, Niels. Think. It is in. Because the frame time stat, I believe, is coming from RTSS, right? I just don't know where it is. Yeah, where are the statistics? There's some setting somewhere that I don't know where it's hiding. Does anybody know? I had it once, but I forgot where it's no. But it's either RTSS or hardware info, but hardware info I don't think has the frame timing, right? Or let me check. It's RTSS. So where in RTSS is it hiding? Because there aren't many settings. I'm just blind. Setup. Ah, sorry, my fault. Display frame time. Enable history overlay. Got it. There we go. Yeah. So some frames just take 40 milliseconds. Thanks, guys. I got it. And just, we need to make sure it's not my system, right? So let me quickly tab out and see if there's anything else running, but I wouldn't say so. There's nothing else that should limit it that way. Nothing running that should cause this, so. Private tick rate for FFB? Seriously? Tick rate for FFB. I will do this in light of it not making any sense. So we go 200. Nope. Well, the thing is, this some people seeing a grindy FFB as a problem is a problem. I think I don't want it smooth. I want the grindiness. I want the detail. If it's real detail. But I get it. When iRacers try the game, then all force feedback in any other game to iRacers must feel incredibly detailed because all they know is a rubber band. Shadows on steering wheel? What's with it? Disable NVIDIA reflex and boost. Well, are we gonna go through all settings? No, the spikes are still there, so. And it's probably worse now. No, it's worse now, much worse. Oh, yeah. Clouds, trees. Are we driving through clouds or trees? Interesting shadows. Nee, ich habe Motion Blur auch aus. Motion Blur ist schon aus. So, yeah. That's that, I guess. So we found out the performance isn't exactly ideal. Which is weird because I remember it being not ideal, but not as much of a problem when we played the ESL stuff. But yeah, this is unplayable. Look at it. In-game boost can be sketchy at times, but yeah, I mean, but if you turn it off, the issue remains. So it's all a bit, it's all weird. Okay, it should work. That's the main point. It should work, and it doesn't. And like just starting the game and already going for fixes is, I don't know, not exactly the approach I wanna have, right? Do you? Whatever that is. Cloud shadows we had somewhere, right? Shadow quality. What were the clouds? Clouds. Was it here? Am I dumb? Cloud here. Let's do clouds off. Let's see if that gives us anything. Nah. It remains choppy. Yeah, sorry, but this is undrivable. It's unplayable. Is it the track? Is it the car? I know that in ESL we had the issue that some cars would just have way less FPS than other cars because of things. And it's worse the faster I go, right? So if I'm slow, it's fine. Well, it has its chops, but they're not permanent. And when I go faster, they become permanent. Or certain parts of the track. Oh, nice. That is very good. It doesn't matter what I think Exo's killer, because right now it's not. But was it the same for Mavix and Noah yesterday, for example? So let's try a different track and car, okay, just to be sure. Die LSS Frame Generation hat aus. Ja, können wir auch machen, aber was ist denn Frame Generation? Kann ich gar nicht. Warum kann ich kein Frame Generation? Ja? Don't care. It's not working fine. So we can stick to that. I don't care actually for the setting that ruins it. It's like the whole frame time issue with the spikes. That's not a problem of whatever setting I have. It's just inconsistent, the rendering. So let's try a different track. But that is not really playable. Yeah. So let's try something else, okay? And just stick to one setting here because that is not the root of the issue, fairly sure. Let's try a different car. So many suggestions. The takeaway is that it doesn't work like it should. So let's do a GG3. Ferris Stanley. Well, I am Ferris Stanley apparently. And we go to Spa. Because I know there it kind of worked when I was still playing this. Brother, ooh. Brother, ooh. DLAA. Ja, aber Mavix ist jetzt auch nicht bekannt als PC-Experte. Der fragt ja selber immer nach, was man einstellen soll. Also, aber ich guck mal. So, wir können gerne DLSS ausmachen. Und hier auf DLAA, aber ich glaube nicht, dass wir hier große Veränderungen an der Grundproblematik bekommen. Ja? It's all the same problem. There's just insane frame times in between. I think we run ABS rather high and TC very low. Well, the FPS now is 60, 70 in the pits, so... Yeah, that's not really enjoyable. But it's funny, it stops when the car is stationary, and it kind of stops, right? Let's restart the game. Maybe there are some settings that actually only change when you restart it or something. Maybe we try DirectX 11. Maybe that's better actually. It's flat because it's high all the time. But I lowered force feedback to 200 already. And if force feedback actually changes the frame time, then they have huge problems, if you ask me. What was it here? So what, to 50 or what? To iRacing force feedback. So let's restart it real quick. But we had NVIDIA Reflex on, off, on with boost. Yeah, I didn't want to change, Toby. I didn't want to change. No, we haven't Pip, but we'll start it again right away if I find the Epic Store. Here, Rennsport, launch. We're launching it again. Ja, ich weiß auch nicht, Hans, wo ist das Spiel, holt sie sich einfach nicht. In ACC kann ich die 400 rausholen. But why do I want Reflex? I don't care for any of that. Other games work just fine without. Why do I suddenly need Reflex on this to not be absolutely horrid? So I don't think I want to change all my settings in NVIDIA just for one game, you know. Usually not my approach, because it works everywhere else. When this needs tinkering with NVIDIA stuff, then I don't know, I'm not too interested. Ja, aber Volker, ganz ehrlich, das Spiel wird jetzt seit 2 Jahren in der ESL gefahren. Also warum sollte das jetzt plötzlich nicht mehr funktionieren? Das macht doch keinen Sinn. Das ist doch keine Ausrede. Das Spiel Open Beta zu sagen, ja, während das in der ESL ja gefahren wird und so, das ist eine Katastrophe. Yeah, so I decided to not change anything in the NVIDIA panel because it works in all other games. And if this game decides not to work there, then I'm not the one who can change it. Honestly. So there's so far nothing that makes it enjoyable. Do we see that? What else is there? Yeah. I don't know where they come from. There's nothing I can do here. There's no PC setting or whatsoever that I could tap into. Why triple screen? I don't have triples. So we started one more time. I can try actual full screen, but none of that should make a 50 FPS difference or a 30 millisecond frame time difference. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yeah, Manu, I even allowed it to use like full beams. Like it's using 250, 260 watts now in the menu without doing anything, but as soon as you're on track, it stops drawing power for whatever reason. Why does it take 250, 260 watts in the menu to render 50 FPS? That's also weird because there's nothing happening. Makes no sense to me. We didn't get to drive yet, mate. We have some graphical issues, I'm inclined to say. And we don't really know where it comes from. It doesn't matter which setting we use. It's completely irrelevant what we use. It just doesn't matter so far. We had the same issue with all settings. So, yeah, okay. Let's, I don't know. I simply do not know. We try another different car, another different track. What was fine? Hockenheim. Hockenheim in the M4, perhaps. Same here, Toby. So I'm thinking about running it on my secondary rig. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it's drawing more power in the menu than it is on track, which is really weird. Back, options. You said full screen. Windowed. You can do windowed, not full screen. How's that? No change. Full screen. No change. How do we drive? Yeah, I don't know. This is too stuttery. Okay, we can also try DirectX 11. Restart. When you switch DirectX for 11, we restart, so we do the restart. It is restarting. Is it, or is it not? I thought about this actually yesterday already, Pip. The sound, I think, is better, but it's wrong because that's not how the M4 sounds. If you take the onboards, I think Automobilista is the game with the best M4 sound, to be honest. Let's see what happens now. Why does everything work except other games? It's like ACC is preventing me from playing other games. But I have single screen, mate. Yeah, I mean, it's more power draw, less FPS, but okay. Slightly more power. It's nowhere near what it should be drawing. Nope, there's the spikes. I guess I really don't know what could be causing this. Oh, alt tab. It doesn't like alt tab at all. So there is nothing else running, okay? I have Discord running. I'll close Discord. I will close Discord. I will close the... anything. Let's close also the overlays for a second here, okay? No, that doesn't make sense. Then we don't see the result. But I have no tools running in the background. Just nothing of relevance is running in the background. Yeah, bitcoins. I have also paused. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I tap back into the game. Nah, it's just stuttering about. Doesn't matter which rendering we use. It's weird because it was definitely better when I used to play the ESL branch on Steam. So whatever they did here somehow reduced the FPS. Turn off overlay. Like, guys, you're getting really interesting. No, this is on Epic Store. So, last thing, what else can we try? We can try Vulkan, whatever that is. Do we restart? Yeah, we restart again. We test it all. It's Unreal 5, yes. Makes it look like iRacing. Great! Vulkan is AMD, so it's not gonna get us anywhere. Am I correct? Oh, okay, we take it. Let's see what happens. I don't think we have anything to lose here. Quick session. Blah blah blah. Just start. How are opinions always like 50-50? It's much better, it's much worse. It's always between those. FPS are actually decent now. Oh, but the stutters are the same. Yeah, okay, so it's also not bad. And power draws even less. I have a 4090, guys. A 4090. Why people saying overlays? We make this, okay? We do what? HUD. Where's HUD off? Where's the HUD? Where's the HUD? Where's the HUD? Am I blind? Edit HUD. Where do we turn it off? No, it needs to be here. Was here overlay somewhere? No. No. Rendering. Use one rendering target for mirrors, perhaps that. Okay, we turn off external overlays. Hardware info, where's that? It's running somewhere. There, quit. Yes, ACC is working normally, of course. But then we have to restart probably, right? But now we don't know. Now we have 0 FPS. I'd argue it's the same stutters, but let's restart, okay? That's been a nightmare so far. Guys, I tried everything by now. How does everybody come up with a new suggestion? So nothing here worked so far. Can we agree on that? Nothing made a difference, no matter full screen, windowed, or whatever. No resolution, no DLSS, on, off, or whatever. Nothing did anything. Focus the game. Maybe you clicked outside. Maybe I didn't start the PC. Guys, please. I'm playing on computers for like 30 years. I've probably come across every single issues and most I've solved. This is the game not working. Control Shift Windows key and B. What? I have patience with the game, but I don't have patience with weird suggestions in chat. Like, everybody knows my PC and knows the problem, and then they do it, and not a single suggestion has been correct, but people are very convinced they are. Yeah, shift window QWERTY. Okay, let's try time trial. Maybe something is in the single player session that's odd. Disable all shadows. Too good, guys. Wow. Nope, stutters. It's weird because it was fine in the past on oh, it's going to 50 or something. Nice. So what we're going to do then is update graphic card drivers. The problem is the stream is going to be interrupted, I think. Shall we try that? Let's see. Let's see if we can manage that. A graphics driver update while keeping the stream alive. Never touch a running system, guys. I tried different tracks already. Yeah, but guys, the thing is, what I always keep kind of hold by heart, if somebody's having issues, I only give a suggestion when I really know the answer. And I'm not just suggesting random things that pop up in my head because I read the word on the screen, okay? That's a bit of a difference, I think. Because it's not helping, it's confusing more than it is helping when you're just throwing in random stuff of which you don't know if they actually are a solution to a problem. So NVIDIA is suggesting a driver update, but I don't really see that having any impact on this particular game, because why would it? Look to M2 write read sets. So what would I do about that? All the other games on this hard drive run fine. Only this one doesn't work. On that hard drive, I'm also running Automobilista, Le Mans Ultimate, EA Sports WRC, Rennsport, and the other games are working. But the stuttering is there. Yeah. But Zine, we had the overlay. We had the entire RTSS overlay on there with no bottlenecks visible there. And even if there were bottlenecks, what would I do about them? I mean, the PC I have is pretty much what the best you can have. 7800 X3D, 4090 graphics card. I have DDR5 memory. 32 gigs of DDR5 memory. As if it couldn't use to be cache. Well, anyway, we install the graphics drivers. Let's see what happens. Probably the stream breaks down, but I'll restart it any second. I think, at least. Just so we can exclude those factors, right? No, the tire sound was already maxed. So I can't. It's installing somewhere. Something. It's doing something somewhere. We just wait a second here. Do that too, but ACC also on UE. Again, everything works on the system, guys. It's just that now for whatever reason. And I deliberately turned more things off to make sure nothing is interfering. Like there's nothing running in the background anymore. And again, it worked better. There we go. And we are back. Had to restart OBS, it wouldn't work with just hitting start again. Okay, so driver update has been done. So there are even less excuses now. NVIDIA app, I'm just quickly checking if there is anything that is completely weird. But honestly, I do doubt it. Why is it not finding add a program? Let me try add Rennsport to this, and if it has a profile but it doesn't look like it. Epic Games, Rennsport. I don't think we want to have that profile. Hide program. Yeah, I'm also sure it's not a driver issue, but it's still, if you want to you just got to check that box, because if you make a ticket somewhere, so they will tell you, have you updated your graphics drivers? So yeah, that's why you do it. You update the graphics drivers so somebody else doesn't have a point, not because you need to update the graphics drivers. Just tell you it did update, yeah. So we do the time trial again. Does anybody, okay, anybody here who hasn't added his 2 cents to, maybe let's turn that off, okay? Now I did two changes at once, so probably this solves it. Hey Dennis. Switch scene game. Do we have game? We have game. Go on track. Now, not more FPS than before. And it's stuttering. A little every now and then. Yeah, no, it's always the same place where it stutters, right? It's not... it depends on where on the track we are. So let's try to do a lap and see if it happens again in turn 1. Have you tried buying an NFT? Thanks, Dennis. There's the tire noise, by the way. You have to be super aggressive for it. Well, I don't think it's related to the 4090 not having enough power. It's just there's some other issue that's causing the FPS to be low and the stuttering. It was better on, or it worked on the old PC with the 3080 Ti, for example. But it was the ESL version, not the public beta. Interesting where the tires get warm. So let's see how turn 1 is now. But yeah, FPS are dropping massively, so it's kind of dependent where we are on track. Yeah, maybe I have too much GPU available. Again, I can only repeat myself here. That it was kind of fine in the ASL version. So I'm not really sure why this version now from Epic Store is not working properly. Because like this, I certainly wouldn't have competed there. Would have been able to. No, it's definitely not pulling watts, I can tell you that. I know it's not. It definitely isn't. It definitely isn't. Using like 40% or something. Where would I display this even? Wait, I have a stats thingy here somewhere. But not the voltage in this one. So we have to bring out the other tool again. Hardware info. Yes. One sec. This is displayed. Oh, why is it? Oh, there we are. No, not pulling any. Not pulling any power. But if you have the LSS, that can happen. But also if we turn that off, it's just not pulling enough power. It's a little more without the LSS, but certainly not enough. So where's the tool? Default mode. Nothing we can save here. Apply. Nope. I just can't make it use more power. I can't. Oh, Masa is here. Hello. No, it's stuttering in general and it's dropping further in turn 1. It's both. And you can see it's not utilizing the GPU. It's just not doing it. No, the starting issue is it's not utilizing the GPU. Like right now, it should keep producing. Let's remove the limiter here. Where was it? Off. Well, let's do 300. Doesn't matter. Let's make it on Epic, okay? Just so it uses power, but you will see it won't. It won't use power, and we use whatever here. No, nothing like that. Wait, wrong. Yes, blah blah. 240 watts. That's where it tops out for whatever reason. It just doesn't draw the power. And it still has the spikes in between. It's a 7800X3D. Again, resolution is 5120 1440. Nothing, I don't have anything that others don't have. Type -VR in properties before starting the game, but where are properties on Epic Store? Use higher in-game resolution. I can't, I think. I can't even change the resolution. But I have a new plugin. Guys, on other games I can draw 460 watts, okay? It's working. It's not working in this game. That's the problem. Jesus. That's exhausting. We tried all of these. Nothing makes a difference. I can tell you that. There is an well, there isn't. There are different full screen modes, but they don't change anything. We can only lower the resolution, not higher it, of course. We tried that already, Marcel. Oh. Let's see turn 1. Ah, no, it's... Okay. It's less stuttery, at least. But it's still not drawing all the power it could draw. But yeah, the full screen thingy seems to take care of the stutters, even if the FPS are super low. Guys, we had all versions of the LSS. But why is there no disc I/O issue now when we went to full screen. You have to tape a 9-volt battery to the cable. Why not? But all I'm learning from this is that I'm done beta testing. But in public. Yeah, the car is slidey. I think the driving style didn't change much since the last time I played. It's still slidey, but I think you have a bigger temperature penalty. The problem is not FPS, like I keep repeating that. The problem is not FPS, the problem is where stutters and that it's not using the card like it could. I don't think I should have 60 FPS on a 4090, no matter the setting. Right? Here, there you go. $20 more FPS, but it's not the issue. Okay, for whatever reason, when we earlier went full screen, the stutters didn't disappear. When we went full screen this time, the stutters did disappear. So I think let's go over to the driving perhaps a bit instead of going on about the hardware. There's obviously something to change still about the hardware, but at least the stutters are gone so we can somewhat drive. Just trying, so just testing the ABS out so it looks like we can go higher because it still allows the inside to lock. Yeah, now it's better. So driving wise, it pretty much drives like I remember it, but I felt that when you're sliding the car, you get a bigger temperature increase on the rears. Yeah, but I also won't draw just 240 on this, okay? I get it. It doesn't have to be max all the time, but this is just too low. Maybe even higher ABS. I have no clue where Jardia did a Clio Cup race. I know he did Spa. Nah, AMS2 is not like that, I'd say. Like here in that corner, let's try to spin, right? If you lean into the rears here too much, they get hot and then you spin, right? They also get hot from spinning, but they get hot before you spin, and that spins you. So okay, now that for whatever reason full screen is giving more FPS, we can go down to high perhaps. Let's see how much we get then. 100. Okay, I'm getting iRacing vibes now because the rears are hot and they have no grip whatsoever, and as long as they are hot. No, it's not track related. It's just how the physics are in this game. There's this, it's a rather vague grip limit, which is what we know from R Factor. And also you see the flash temperatures on the tires, how they go up, is kind of what you know from R Factor, right? You turn the wheel and the tires go hot. Hey, Freddy. I have to say though, the force feedback I think is better than when I last played. Because I didn't think about it so far at all. It was much more doughy and vague in the older versions. Like this is more what you expect. More in line with what you know. There's different weight in the wheel, different resistance. Well, yeah, I said surface temp, nothing else. I said flush temp, which is surface. What is this light under the car ahead? The resumes were just starting because previously we couldn't play. There was some issue with, well, with the performance of the game in general. Which is now better in full screen for me, but still, FPS are fairly low. I feel this vagueness in where the grip actually is, what the maximum grip is. There's still too much float, I think is the word. Well, it's one of the words when you don't know how to describe it. But it's not sharp where you know, okay, this is where the grip is. You can just keep turning the wheel or turn a little less. The car will kind of do the same direction. You can put it at an angle, the car. Oh boy. So a little temperature on the rear tires just completely removes the grip by, I don't know, a factor of 0.5. Your grip is gone when you spin the rears up. The weight. Yeah, it's a bit too agile almost, but it's a race car on the other end. You shouldn't feel too much of the weight in the downforce GT3, I guess. You feel the weight by having to go slower in the corners. So it feels like you're gonna drive by the tire widget and try not to make the rears red. That's going to be your target in this game. Drive the car neutral, because there's no feedback in the steering or visually really about where the car wants to be put slipwise. It's all in the tire UI, so probably I'm going to move the tire UI right in the front of my eyes and make it bigger, and then I get the feedback whether or not I'm using the tires correctly. So the thing is, do real life cars drive like that? I don't know, I haven't, but they don't look like they drive like that. That is always my assessment, or my attempt of assessing it. It doesn't look like real life cars can float around like this. Triple weiß ich ehrlich gesagt nicht, ich habe keine. It's still like I don't know, maybe it's not the floatiness. I think the main thing that is still there, like it was in the past, is this kind of a shoppy trolling feeling. Where the rear always feels like the tires are pointing 90 degrees to the outside, and the thing just rotates as soon as you go onto the wheel. In all driving situations, it just rotates on the brake, on power, when turning the wheel. It just adds yaw and more yaw and more yaw. But it's never really front limited unless you crank the wheel to the absolute maximum. It's always the rear. Rotation matching the game, no issue. I'd say the driving is largely the same, with a bigger penalty if you overdo it, but they actually didn't solve the kind of the grip feeling of it. They just make the tires hotter now when you slide too much, and when they become hot they lose grip. But it's not the kind of the slip angle or the slip of the tires, whatever you want to go into there, that was changed. It's only the penalty you get from sliding the car this much, in either terms of wear and or temperature. This, and even if the rear tires are hot, I don't think a rear car behaves this way, where it just goes in a 30-degree slide like this. At least I don't see that. Of course you wouldn't drive like that IRL, because I don't know. No, and nobody's trying to go beyond the limit or above the limit IRL, because it's usually causing issues with your car. I have single screen, no triples. But I wouldn't say completely ridiculous, because it's similar in other games. I would just say it lacks correspondence to how real cars seem to drive, or how they look to drive. Like, you can get used to that as well, but and as long as you're below the limit, everything is fine, I'd say. It follows the steering input, but maybe that's the other thing that is a bit weird. While it's kind of direct, it feels like when you're mid-turn and when you're already in the slip angle, then your steering and the rotation of the car, there's always a bit of a delay. It's not a direct thing. So if you commit to the corner here, go for it, and now you turn the wheel, and the reaction is always a bit, I don't know, there's two, three tenths, half a second or something until the car actually responds to it. And this is what I think people then would say is the floatiness feeling, where it's not responsive because you do something and the car doesn't do anything. And that's, I think, what people then consider as vague or something. Try a different car, okay? No, so I think where some of the arguments about R Factor 2 are coming from is that the cars differ largely. Like if you take a Formula car in R Factor 2, they don't slide. They have a lot of grip. They are very snappy. They lose the grip very fast and regain it very quickly, but they are not sliding around. They're not floating. But if you take, I don't know, was it the Radical or something? There are other cars in R Factor 2 that just drive way different than these Formula cars. And also the GTEs and GT3s, they always slide a lot, for example. But I wouldn't, in R Factor 2, you can't really say R Factor 2 does that, because the cars differ so much. It's not the physics in RF2 are not as overarching everything. It's not like in iRacing where all the cars drive the same, respond to the same inputs, because the physics are so dominant over the individual car. In R Factor 2, it's more nuanced in the way that the cars drive different, given whatever they modeled in them on an individual level. And Marcel, if he's still there, he's probably going to agree. Or if any other R Factor 2 fanboys are. Glad that you added sane, because there seem to be some others. So, what else do? We want to go for the slower car, GT4. That's just one. But yeah, we can... Or do we do... Let's do the Hyundai again on where we started here in Rodoslanda. Which is, of course, this one. Maybe without the stutters now. Yeah, right, Master? So you have the... I forgot how the tool is called, but you create the tire, right? Or you have it create. You enter the parameters into your tire tester, tire tool, whatever you call it. And then it creates all the kind of the properties of the tire, or how it behaves, if I got that right. All the data points. Oh, I didn't actually press start. Yeah, we'll see about the 1.6 update of Automobilista. And I'm not sure what this exact correct whatever feeling is. It might just differ per tire, per car, per track you are driving on, whatever the tarmac is, and so on. I don't think there's just this one way all cars have to behave. There needs to be some spread. The issue is that it always seems like the sims are on the ends of the spectrums of how cars can behave. They are not grouping around the middle yet. Some games are on this end of the spectrum, some games are on the other end of the spectrum, and they are not getting closer around what might be correct. Even though the correct might be closer to here or closer to here, that we don't know, or I don't know. Yeah, but old F1 cars, they this is a kind of snappy sliding they do. They lose grip, they regain grip. They are worked on the limit, but there isn't this continuous slide they do, for example. Or at least how I view it. Oh, the spikes are back here. So full screen. Well, let's see if it's there in the lab or two. But yeah, there's not much here. That's interesting. Like, it does nothing when you point the tire left, right, but if you keep the steering wheel pointing in a direction for a little longer, right, nothing, then it starts driving into this direction. This is again what I meant with the delay, right? Something in the tire has to start existing first before it responds to anything. Let's do it at higher speed for it to be more pronounced. God, who invented front wheel drive on a race car? Oh, nice. It pulls directions. But yeah, this is even more shopping trolley feel than GT3. So, nothing here. This delay is what bothers me. You point the wheel in one direction, and then it takes half a second for the game to calculate, oh, you're this way. Oh, okay. And no lock to horizon, no. That's what I mean with floatiness, but maybe we need to warm up the tire first. Yes, there is lock to horizon, but I have it on 0. That's on purpose. I want to be connected to the car, not connected to the sky. I have so far not lowered the sensitivity now. And I feel in this delay, this is where people find the vagueness. Okay, now we got the stutters again. So it wasn't the full screen after all, we were just lucky perhaps. Oops, bounce. And I think due to this delay, you also have to turn in before you actually have or want to turn in. You have to kind of assume how the car turns in and responds to your steering. Of course, this is all happening on a very small scale, but it's still there. Hey, Sammy. Well, the limiter sounds good. And that's the other thing. You can just go into the tires so much braking, so much steering, and then you release the brake, and then it starts to convert the tire forces into rotating the car, or converts the slip, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm on purpose driving shit, okay, just to go into this zone here, but front wheel drive is not a particular fan. Let's try the fast cars, okay, because there any delay would be a bit horrid. Here we go. No, we had it on, off, we had it on with boost, we had everything. NVIDIA Reflex did nothing to the stutters. The only thing was turning the game to full screen, and that worked on Hockenheim, but it doesn't work on Road Atlanta because things. Is Rennsport a good game or a good simulation? I cannot answer. Okay, are they gonna go on about this turning on the ICE? Engineer's gonna hate me for that. The brake system is bad right now. Wow, it got me by surprise. Let's see if we have the same thing here as well. Well, it's more direct. Well, let's warm up the tires, perhaps gonna give it a fair chance. Are not helping in fast cars, and it's a bit bumpy here, so maybe Lock to Horizon is a needed thing. But still, I don't have a connection to the road. You still have to choose the right amount of float by the looks of it. But yeah, there's no feeling of weight or downforce or load on the tires or anything. The force feedback is the same from 50 to 300. and then you turn it in. And then you have a bit of shopping trolling, which stops if you stop committing to the steering, but comes across a bit weird. It's just that pattern that we have in the game of how things respond, and the rear tires seem to be always giving you this. Right when you stop steering, it doesn't stop rotating. It keeps rotating because the rear tires are still in the slip. You know? They keep their momentum. They keep their speed into the wrong direction alive. Feels very damped. A bit like RF2. A bit like some cars in RF2, which we know there's a reason for that. Yeah, nice muscle. We should all give your game a try. Yeah, the only brake information you get is from the LEDs on the dash. You can't really hear it, even though I have tire noise at maximum. And you of course see it in the tire widget if you lock up. Right? And then when you lock up harsh, then you get some squeaky sound from the tires. But when the RPM are higher, there's no chance to hear that. Which I guess in the real car is perfectly fine. It's just that we're in a sim where we're lacking some information. It's a different discussion, so to say. It's not about realism. It's about kind of the feedback you want to give the player in order to perform in the car. And let's try the other LMH quickly here. Do we change track again? Let's try Spa for a moment, perhaps. Maybe it cooperates. Yeah, you definitely can flat spot here. Yes, yes, yes. How does it compare to Le Mans Ultimate? Weird, because... why? Use the start button. I don't know, I don't drive too much Le Mans to compare to that. My benchmark is always other games. Like the tire sounds are there, but you have to go harsh with the tire and mute the engine a bit. Which we could do still. Maybe we do that. Audio engine. Go to 70% or so. Maybe that helps. Let's see how that starts. Just starts. Well, for one thing, the tires here on these hypercars have tire warmers, which they don't have in the more Ultimate. Oh. This feels very on the nose. But here's no delay at least, so it's a GT3's thing a bit. But yeah, you just have the same thing. It's pointy, you let go, and the rear starts to, well, do whatever. Not as bad as it was. It really was worse when I competed a year ago. But it's still it's super light, everything. There's some bumps in the force feedback. Can you get the curb? Yeah, you definitely get something from the curb as well, but only Yeah, only if it changes the rotation of the car. And there's a bit of vibration from the curb, but it's very muted. Okay, that can happen. Yeah, this year's... Yeah, we had that before, where the car gets floaty in Blanchiment. I'm not sure this can happen. Need to brake a little earlier. I feel the TC is masking it a bit. Let's turn it off, or to 1. Even... let's turn it off. Oh, by the way, we're not sitting centered in the car. It looks very fast and all, but it's so unspectacular in the steering wheel because the forces are so little. There's definitely a difference to Le Mans Ultimate, because now we have TC off in the hypercar, and in Le Mans Ultimate the slow speed grip is really low onto power, and here the car has a lot of grip, or a lot of traction out of slow speed corners. Look, I just do full throttle, right? This will almost certainly be a spin in the Ultimate. So let's see how it floats in Blanchiment, which is where I think it definitely shouldn't. Oh, it has much more cornering capacity than Blanchiment needs. I'm almost gonna say that the LMDH is better than the GT3 in the game. It shows less of this weird slidey behavior. There a bit. Could be sharper. How it loses and regains the grip. But it doesn't want to float as much. Maybe it's because I'm not going fast enough yet. But it doesn't give me the same shopping trolley feeling. The issue is a bit that the steering wheel is very, very light, and you have to be extremely careful with your movements. Because very small movements are already enough. But there isn't really any force feedback preventing you to just steer more, or indicating that you're steering to more anything. It's just, so to say, very powerful power steering. And yeah. The only information you get really is bumps and oversteer, but anything else doesn't really exist. And even oversteer, I'd say, feels very, very damped. So that's why you see this in and out in the steering all the time, because I'm testing how much does the front end have. And if the game or the force feedback tells you better, then you don't need to do this testing with the steering to see, is there a response from the car to my steering input? Is there still front and left? Then you do this. And note here, you see Jimmy Broadbent do this a lot, because of course he's not an esports guy, he doesn't practice the games a lot. So he has to find out how much grip the cars actually have when he drives around the track. And you see this very often in his videos, that he goes towards a corner and he's very like this on the wheel all the time, which is just him testing how much grip there is. I don't know if he knows why he does that, but I think that's the reason. But yeah, like a lot of traction, a lot more traction compared to more Ultimate, definitely. And also more traction compared to the GT3. Okay, now I've finally overdone it. Now the car's probably undrivable with the temperature on the rear. Nope. Traction's still there. So that's like the polar opposite of Le Mans Ultimate. In slow speed, there's just no traction. Here you have plenty. No slipping whatsoever. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't think they can just slam throttle in these cars. They probably need to be a little more careful. Sorry, Dan, what did you try and can confirm? Sorry, I have to catch up with the comments a little. GT4 feels good. So let's drive a GT4 then, okay? Because I haven't so far. I'm not sure, Otis, with the traction. It's you can be more blunt as a driver. You can push more, I guess, with that. But if it's more realistic, that's a thing. I don't know. But yeah, it already starts with those cars having tire warmers, which the real GTPs don't have. Which kind of changes how you leave the pit already, so that feeling is different. Where's my deer? Here. What else do we have? We have the Porsche Cup, but I'm not interested in that. So GT4 it is. We are 110 now, Leonard. I don't think there's any telemetry output yet, Michael. So I'm not sure SimHub could integrate it. M4, Road Atlanta. Well, I'm doing it here now. Road Atlanta was very weird with the spikes in FPS, or well, in the frame times rather. Yeah, we can turn that off probably. Yo. Well, I have some performance issues which others don't have, so I'm not sure where those are coming from. Maybe I just have... Actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I just have an old config file of the graphics from the previous version and I need to delete that or something for the public build. We can try that after this run. Driving wise, the GT3 so far, I'd say they're largely the same. The difference is that, well, they still have this shopping trolley behavior. You have to, as a driver, work against that a little, because once the rear tire or the surface of the rear tire heats up in a particular corner, it will lose a lot of grip, so much that you're gonna spin, so you need to take care with that. So in this way, they didn't actually touch how the car is slipping and rotating. They just changed the penalty of how much of that you can actually use. And with that, they are trying to stop people from sliding too much, I feel. In the GTPs, the sliding is not there. The gears seem incredibly short. Yeah, well, this is the GT4 and it's not spectacular because it's a GT4, I think, no matter the game. Yeah, but I don't have stutters in ACC, Zasha, so why would I uninstall drivers now when I only have stutters in this game and not the others? I don't get it. AMG GPU, but I don't have AMD GPU. And reinstall drivers, so that can't be it anymore. Oh boy. The steering wheel is just very empty. Like the power steering completely taking everything out. You get a bit of that curb, you get a bit of the bumps, but in terms of what the car does, the force feedback doesn't tell you anything. How much grip you're using, how fast you're going. You just go by vision here. And also not sound, because there's no tire sound present. Feels like I'm reviewing the Ultimate again. And definitely not enough power to spin up the rears. There, we create a temperature. Same like the F1 games. That's rude. I don't know if to the F1 game or Rennsport. But yeah, if you just look at the temperature widget, it reminds me a lot of how you drove in R Factor 2 and in the more Ultimate. That's the main source of information about how much tire you're using is the tire widget, because it indicates how the temperatures evolve. I'm just not sure why in the race car. Maybe we're just driving default setups with zero camber. It's always the outside of the tire that is warmest, which makes no sense. Because right now on the straight we are driving on the inside of the tire, and that should be warmest. But yeah, even going for a slow corner here, the car is sitting on the outside of the tire. Well, so far, Rolando. I know there's my struggle there isn't really this connection with the game, with the car. Do we have the same thing here as with the front wheel driven cars? No, that's a bit more response here. There's less of a delay. Plus 2 degrees of camber, yeah, perhaps. Okay, yeah, GT4s are just boring cars, unfortunately, I'd say. Do we want to try online? But I'm not sure this is going to be a good idea. Oh. We missed the 3 PM one, and now the next one is 7 PM? Why is it only every 4 hours? And why do they then have all the races at the same hour, so to say? Why don't they have races all the time, but in different cars and tracks? Why do they have 4-hour windows, a 4-hour gap, and then drive all the cars? So I don't get that. Well, Eric, not so much Drift Simulator. I feel the car behaves the same, the GT3 at least. GT3 behaves the same, but they penalize you now when you go too far into the slip by increasing the tire temps drastically, and then you spin. So you have to kind of restrain yourself. Yeah, the weight shift is not really present. You don't really feel that. You just go left or right. You're, I don't know, turning pixels one side to the other side of the screen somehow. No, the graphics is inside, middle, outside of the tire, but like, oh no, left, middle, right of the tire, not inside, middle, rim. Honestly, I'm not sure what the actual differences are between closed and open beta, but in the closed beta, at least I didn't have performance issues, which I have now. Maybe there's more graphical stuff that's included now or something that isn't working as intended. I don't know. What I can for sure say that this whole thing still feels early, right? That's why they call it beta, because there is much to come and there is much optimization still to do. The issue is a bit that we already, like, they are in the third ESL R1 season, and tricky to judge the progress there, because we had performance issues in the beginning. They put in loads of work, and there was lots of talks about that, lots of complaints and bug reports and log files sent over and things like that. But then again, right, I installed the beta now, and we have performance issues on one of the best systems you can have currently. So I'm not sure. No, the 3 p.m. races, they are running. I think that's a problem because we are past 3 p.m. It's 3:24 now. So we're not seeing the running races at 3 p.m. So yeah, it's okay. So apparently there's 7 p.m. and then there's 8 p.m. and up until 10. So there's a race every 10 minutes from 7, but not from not from 3 p.m. somehow. Or is my search broken or something? Have I done some setting that should prevent us from seeing it? Don't think so, right? The servers are down. Ah. Unlucky. That explains it. Well, I guess we'll have to wait with a lot of stuff here. So definitely, at least on my end here, performance needs to improve massively. It's just not good enough to run on whatever ever FPS I had on fairly low settings alone on track. The stutters, they can't happen. And of course how it drives, I don't know. I don't connect with it. That's the problem. Maybe it's correct, maybe it's not, I don't know, but it doesn't drag me in, doesn't tell me, wow, you're driving this insane car and this is your impact on it, this is how you do it. You're the man, you're in charge, do this and this happens, or do this and that happens. It's all just, yeah, some vagueness there. Another year or two, who knows, I don't know. It all depends how much people I have on it. If you have a lot of people, maybe you can handle it in a year. If you don't have a lot of people, maybe you need to. If you're running out of funding, you'll never see it. You said delete config file. Actually, good hint there. What good reminder. Thank you. I will do that if I find it. Where is the config file? Since it's Unreal, it's probably... It is not in the documents folder. No. So that will be in the installation folder, which is here. Epic Games, Rennsport, config. User QA tool, that's not it. Content, no. Plugins, no. Platforms, Windows, plugins, real input, binaries, third party. No. So where are the settings stored? Does anybody know? I can't find it. Imports, no. Attachments, no. So I went through all the game folders, but I cannot see where perhaps configs are stored. App data, ah, gotcha. Yes. Well, we do the same with users, me, app data, local. I guess then Rennsport, PQR, Rennsport, saved configs, Windows, and there is a user settings. Yeah, user settings seems to include some graphic settings, but also the camera settings and screen, blah, 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 blah. I fear it has the controls as well. So they don't have separate files for controls, for graphics, for whatever. There's only one file. But what does it matter? I'll just delete it. Hardware, empty. There's just two files that are carrying information anyway. There's one that says input, so let's just delete the user settings and the engine ini perhaps. Okay, deleted. Let's see what happens, okay? Where's the Epic Store? Here. Let's see. Yes, thanks Kevin, just saw it. Oh, because of Epic. Yeah, I'm not good with typing with the gloves, Muscle. Well, I try to be, but I doubt I am, RK. But I think they're just there. Well, that's a rip. Scan code with Rennsport app. No, I need to find the Rennsport app. Be brave, break last. Yes. Do I have the Rennsport app? I do. Hey, Hans. Yeah. Maybe they need to make keyboards that scale up when you wear gloves. Scan code with Rennsport app. How? Profile. Forgot your password. Unlucky. So I'm not logged in there and I'm not logged in here. 1 sec. I'll need to change OBS for a minute there. And I need to find out the password, which is probably stored somewhere in my Google passwords or so. Finger-free bike gloves. So let me find Rennsport. Here it is. And now I need to authenticate with my oh boy, so many passwords. Oh, that's be sure that is not my password. That could be the password. It is. All right. There are too many passwords stored already for this. All right. I think this one is the camera. That's the game view. Oh, that was already a stutter. Time trial. Well, was it bad? It was bad on Road Atlanta. Select. Okay, select it. Select. Honestly, select should send me back to the main menu, but only back does anyway. We're definitely not driving a Porsche if we don't have to. Let's try again the Hyundai because we had very bad stutters there. Select. What's happening? Okay, now we just need to quickly check what are the video options. Okay, blah, 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 blah. It does whatever. Okay, it's just going to Epic, so let's see what it does, okay? It's definitely reset. Perfect video. We shall check later. We didn't need the Rennsport app, by the way. FPS are very low. So get the graphic reset did no stutters went stationary. Let's see. Oh, steering is correct though. Camera and FOV might not be. Stutters are still there. Maybe I need to delete the entire folder. Oh. Did we review the damage model yet? Oh. Can I get the other... there's a tire. You can't see it. But we're missing a tire. Maybe both tires, actually. Problem. It might just be my system, guys. We can't judge from that alone, at least. Tarmac, come on. Give me tarmac, a little. Yeah, I think we're missing a tire. How do we look backwards? I have no binding for it, I think. I can't look backwards, unfortunately. Unlucky. Do we have a replay? There's no replay, apparently. Nope. Look back. Where could be look back? Bindings. Where's the camera stuff? Cameras. Previous camera, next camera, reverse camera. Here. There we go. Ah. So what we can see is the entire car is modeled, including engine and all intakes and whatever. So it seems to be a complete render of the car. I like the dirty part on, well, what is from our view now the right side of the fender. Dirty from the impact. Well, okay, we need to return to pits, obviously, or restart the time trial. How do we crash it reverse? Oh, let's try some side impact. Nice. I managed another front collision because I'm not very smart. I wanted to hit the side. Well, I can probably do the bindings for all the cameras, but I'm not gonna bother too much with it now. It's inevitable. I'm gonna crash forward. But we have different damage now, at least. Like, it did look weird on their first screenshot when individual pixels of the car broke down. This looks better. Yeah, but yeah, it's still... Seems like the pods are... Can't complain about that. It does look like proper damage, at least. Oh, it's a ghost. Nope. A front-wheel driven car is probably a bad choice to do a side impact. And we can't see from the side, right? Only front and rear. So, okay, this is fooling around, so I'm not going to do that. Well, my graphics are, I just reset them, so it put everything to epic. It looks good, but I don't have FPS. Yeah, I'd say that the damage looks fine. You probably have to go through more situations crashing straight into the wall. Honestly, Wreckfest damage model in all sim racing titles, that's how it should be, right? I think everybody agrees. There's no need to do your own thing. Just buy it from Wreckfest. Praga. Oh yeah, that's the only one we didn't try, but that was, I think that was also the worst, if you ask me, in the previous build. Especially Road Atlanta, you're gonna get a shock now how bumpy it is. Or BeamNG. Can I try without wheelbase? What do you mean without wheelbase? What do you mean without wheelbase? Yeah, so it's also not a GPU issue on my end when the menu draws more power than the game itself, right? So there's something they get wrong. Turn off FFB. I don't know how I do that, honestly. How do I turn off FFB while still being able to steer? Or you mean... I'll wait for an answer. I don't think so. Yeah, I can just turn it to 0, but that's still gonna have the entire processing just multiplied with 0, right? Here. Still gonna be there somewhat. Map your steering to something else. Well, we shall do. Can we do mouse in this? Keyboard, gamepad. Well, how does that work? Enable steering with mouse. There we go. Mouse sensitivity. Doesn't matter. Throttle. W. Braking S. Y and G. If you have a keyboard in front of you guys, try to use W, S, Y, and G. Ouch. W, S, Y, and G. They could have just gone YMCA, really, for the memes. These are keybinds, yeah. So let's see if it takes those inputs now. It does. But same FPS. Let's find G. Next gear. Y. Y is upshift, G is downshift, okay. Oh, I'm getting... Help. Oh boy. Well, the force feedback is the same as with the wheel. Oh, no. I thought I'd make a full lap. Mouse steering new meta. 290, so it's more now? You're shitting me. Well, I just didn't set this up, guys. Sorry. Where is the FOV here? But it's the same FOV. Just have to go deeper inside the car, apparently. What's the gear even? Yeah, the clutch seems to be a bit slippery. It's a bit bouncy, I'd say. Help! But yeah, we did gain FPS, right? Ugh. Mouse is very weird. Joni Tomola will be proud of me. Yeah, the upshifts are super weird. Just listen into the RPM on the upshift, okay? We do this one more time. That's super weird. Well, I'm steering with mouse mate, that's why. Let me actually set this back. I'll be super confused next time around. Here, wheel. Okay, but I think we're done here, are we? Steering on pedals and throttle and braking on the steering wheel. Yeah, I don't know. Like, shall we? Well, I can. Let me start Automobilista, okay? Just real quick. You shall see what wattage looks like. Nah, but even on the like in this, you just had like a period between gears where the RPM kind of slowly came down. In F1, it's bang, 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 right? The RPM are just down to the next gear. Here, that was like, I don't know, took half a second for the RPM to match the actual gear. But I honestly, I don't think everybody, you should expect anybody to now switch to this game. This doesn't make sense. Nah, even if they are going to end up with a really good game, it's not to be expected to be good on release day. Oh wait, Automobilista is updating, I think. Wow. When I click start. So we have to wait a second here, but it's already patching and it's done in 10 seconds. Torque limit during shifting. Make gear shifts feel like this. Well, interesting you say this, but this was not R-Factor 2. Hi, Niels. But it's only in the Praga. It wasn't in the other cars. But okay, yeah. Perhaps the Praga has it. I don't know. So does that mean they use a gearbox that is not able to work with the amount of torque the engine has? Yeah, I cannot comment. I don't know. I can't talk too bad about the game because as BMW we have well, we take part in that championship, right? So we have to stay professional, as they say. So what did I just want? I wanted to tell OBS to grab the correct game. One sec. Which is this one, I believe. It's a CVT, exactly. And do we have... Hello. Hello, Automobilista, will you... Oh, back to game. There we go. We can load whatever, I think. No, I'm just showing you the wattage. Perhaps, guys, I can't show you anything that is not part of. We're just gonna do standard content here. No driving. I'm just showing you the wattage. It's all about that. So now we have to uncap the FPS somewhere. My settings might be too low. And here you can only edit the settings in the main menu. So we are back in the main menu. One sec. One sec. Back. No. Options. Oh, here. Brain. Performance. Blah, 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 blah. Do I have an FPS limiter somewhere? Do they have this? I think there's somewhere. System. Is it here? No. It was visual effects somewhere? No. Interesting. Oh man, this menu is always so big, it breaks my brain. Fill grid, yeah, you're probably right. But I still want to make sure we are trying to pull everything here. Is there Ultra? No. They're also not. This will forever break my brain, how you go through this menu. If I use the scroll wheel, it jumps back where the mouse is. Okay, but it's set to very high, everything. And this is all full. Full. Yes, we don't need that. Screen dirt. Well, no, maybe yes for this one. Full grid, you said. So single race. Here. Where do we opponent settings? 27, 20, well, whatever. And isotropic 60, well, okay. Well, 240 hertz is the maximum the screen can do. But we're not gonna have that much FPS when on track. Let's see. I remember we had a I was testing the other day and I had something like 400 watts here. For whatever reason I don't have now. Why? Why? I'm not sure actually. Why do we not have more watts? Nothing is throttling. So eventually, I don't know. Huh, weird. Oh god, the force feedback is too high, you remember that? Okay, things are weird now. No. No, Rudy. No, that's just no. That's just wrong. Okay, we are not gonna. You're not gonna be part of my testing. Okay, that's not smart. That's not content. Car is not heavy enough. That perhaps. Maybe wrong track or whatever. I don't know. There's no DLSS in this, so you can't really. I don't know. Nothing like that should be. It was in multiplayer, I remember it was easily 420 or something, so I went to my GPU and limited the power target because it was using way too much power. So that's that. Okay, don't think there's anything else we need to do here, right? Do you think AC Evo might have GT3? I think it might have. It might have. Being a race with multi-class. Can I... Well, it's multi-class already, added classes, so we can have this. Done. Let's see. Dry rain and low sun. Guys. Maybe reboot PC. But yeah. That's the last thing we're gonna do here. Just load that up real quick, see if numbers skyrocket, but I know. I was hoping to confirm that it works here, but no, it doesn't. I don't know what the issue is. Now it's even less. I don't know. Something is being weird today. Something is weird today. And I don't know why. It's power target, 111%. Use all the voltage you can get. Use all the megahertz you can get. Use whatever you want to do, and it's not doing it. Okay. I usually, when I play ACC, I limit it to like 40% because that's enough. But here, I don't know. Things are not happening today. Okay, we call it a day. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, it could be CPU in that regard. I think in multiplayer it was 400 or something. Then I turned the CPU, the GPU down to 60% or so to not melt in this room. No, I'm not touching NVIDIA control panel because it takes ages to do it all correct again. Definitely not putting that on default. Like, that's not going to happen. Because everything here works. It only doesn't work in Rennsport. So I'm not changing my entire system only for Rennsport. That does not sound like a smart thing to do. Right? All right. Okay. Well, you'll have to watch it back, Dalibo, because I think we're done. I think we're done. We've done enough here for today. So let me summarize maybe, okay? When you're just missing it. Driving wise, GT3, I feel it's still the same as it was a year ago, with the difference that now they, when you slide too much, they're creating a ton of extra temperature on the rear tires, and that extra temperature actually causes the car to then spin because the temperature quickly skyrockets, getting iRacing feel there. So basically they force the driver to not use the excessive slip the game allows by being more temperature sensitive and by creating more temperature when sliding too much. This wasn't the case a year ago. But the way the car behaves and goes into the slide, it still does that super easily. And then the temperature skyrockets and then you spin. So you have to dial it back a bit as a driver, but the car essentially still behaves the same in that regard with a bit of the shopping trolley thingy. And then on the front wheel TCRs especially, we had this thing where there was a bit of delay in how the car responded. You turn the wheel and it takes 3/10, half a second for the car to actually change direction, like it's not properly connected to the front tires. We had that in the front wheel driven cars. Plus they also had a bit of the shopping trolley feel, but this is somewhat more normal for those front wheel driven cars because they need the rotation somehow. They get that from the setup like that. And then we had the GTPs, which had a lot more grip than I expected, a lot more grip than the more Ultimate, for example. But they had also endless traction, basically. Like you had to slam throttle in first gear out of a corner to get the rear sideways. And they didn't have this amount of slidiness and floatiness as the GT3s had. But they have very vague force feedback. It's like super aggressive power steering, so to say. The wheel was very light the entire time, and it didn't change with the speed. It didn't change with the amount of cornering. It didn't change with the amount of steering input you had and all that. So it wasn't really giving you a lot of feedback in general. You got some bumps, you got the curbs, but you didn't get much about the car and what it wanted from you, what it did. And then we had a ton of issues with actually with the performance of the game, which was really bad, and we couldn't really fix that. We got hold of the stutters a bit, but FPS weren't great. Yes, I know, but I'm not gonna make a. I'm just not. It takes too much time to do something like that on stream. You shouldn't do that on stream. Hey, Linus, you're a bit late, but if you go back 2 minutes, I just did a summary somewhat. I agree. Like we tried a lot of settings and no setting whatsoever had impact on how the game performed. So I doubt that it's just gonna all solve itself with a magic click in the control panel and double the FPS and eradicate all stutters. It seemed more inherent, especially since the other game we were just running didn't have any stutters at all or so, right? Am I gonna switch to Rennsport? It's gonna need huge forces in this world for this to happen right now, because the game is not there yet to be out in the public as a replacement for any other sim. It has a few cars, it has a few tracks, it has sort of physics, it has sort of graphics, has sort of sound, but nothing in there is completed or finished or fine-tuned or whatever, you know. We're getting like all the parts of the game are somewhat alpha or beta or whatever you want to call it. Everything still has a lot of headroom, so to say. By the way, I don't think that the game gets any Saudi money. The ESL is owned by the Saudis, so the ESL has Saudi money, if you want to talk about that. But I don't think ESL is financing the Rennsport development. Certainly that's not the case. I'm pretty sure the people behind Rennsport and the companies need to find their own funding, which they're probably gonna get or probably have to work for a little harder than begging the Saudis. They're gonna have investor rounds going probably and trying to convince them to invest in the game, and they're gonna show them some numbers of whatever, how big the sim racing scene is, or Jimmy Broadband video clicks or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Their problem. I think the main thing with doing games these days is you can just grab the Unreal Engine and you can really quickly produce really nice looking screenshots, and then you have your project started and you can go on social media and show people stuff. But then the actual work just starts doing the entire game. And I think we were invited. 2021 is when the first event around Rennsport happened. So it's 3.5, or was it 2022, I believe. But they started working on the game much earlier than that, of course. So they are now, what, 4 years into development or something like that? And what we have now is a open beta with a bit of content, a bit of issues, long way to go, I'd say. So I'm not sure. I mean, right now my answer is no. You never know what they're gonna come up with, but again, there's headroom, quite a bit, and they need to fill it because all the other games are much more mature. iRacing is super mature, doesn't look the greatest, okay, but people don't seem to care how iRacing looks, right? People seem to be fine with how iRacing looks, and maybe if they come up with something in the future with better graphics, then they will make a major leap in that regard, hopefully more optimized than what they have now as well, because FPS and iRacing are not great despite not looking good. And then you have a lot of other sims that are much further in their development cycle, or in the knowledge the studio behind the game just has over the decades by now, right? With Assetto Corsa, we had Netcar before. We had Ferrari Virtual Academy coming from Kunos. There were many games before that. And all the knowledge they gathered there is gonna kind of go into, or went into ACC, and everything they gathered from ACC is hopefully transferring to AC Evo, and it's gonna make an impact there. And whatever knowledge they acquired in the meantime outside of that is gonna be in that game. And everything that is in Le Mans Ultimate started ultimately with R Factor 1 or Easy. Even way before that. And the same is for Automobilista 2, which taps into some parts of the Easy engine from decades ago, which then also means, which we can only speculate because we never really know, but Rennsport also has licensed some Easy stuff. So they are also just relying on somebody else's physics environment and all that. And I don't think they are just years behind, not because they don't know shit, but because they are literally years behind. They started much later. And to catch up to that, I think in the already crowded sim racing space in terms of games we can play, it's just a difficult task they're up against. And to convince people to change the game, you need to beat the other games. And I don't think that's an easy task for nobody. Anybody who's coming new into this is gonna have an issue with that. Look at Ian Bell with his GT Revival or whatever the game is going to be called at the end of the day. There was some noise around when the new year started, but I think it went completely silent now, right? And they also just had a couple screenshots. They were driving a lap on some track, and that was it. And now it's completely silent around that game. So I think it's a difficult space to go out there and say, hey, we're gonna make the best sim possible, because then you first have to define what makes that sim better than the others, and then you also have to achieve that, which is certainly not easy. Sim racing environment is probably one of the most complex ones. You have to get a lot of different parts right for the game to click, and I feel this is a tricky task. And you can't buy that with money, by the way, guys. Even if they make $1 trillion now from founders pack sales, they need to find the right people who know how to put a sim out like that in all the different departments. And at least I don't know where Rennsport were getting their people from. I don't know of Studio 397 people leaving in masses. I don't know of Kuno's people leaving in masses. I don't know of iRacing people leaving towards Rennsport. They never announced any physics developers or something, right? They didn't tell us who their gurus are, for example. Where often the guru that is the public face of a game isn't necessarily the developer of the physics, but the face of ACC certainly was Aris, and the face of iRacing is David Kammer, and the face of Automobilista 1 was Niels Heusingveld, and the face of Studio 397 once was Marcel Offermans. And we have them all here. We're very happy to have them involved in the stream, so I hopefully didn't fuck anything up. So we have a lot of really high qualified, highly experienced people in the community that are doing their own projects, not employed by anyone, but they are also not at Rennsport. So I'm not sure who's doing the stuff there, which just you know. Yeah, where's Geoff Clement? Where's Geoff Clement? Or where's the Live for Speed guys? I mean, they still do Live for Speed, but Victor van Bladingen and Eric, what was his last name? I forgot. Jobs knew the sim would be limited to 25 FPS. Was it actually back then? Was it limited? Because when I was 10 years old and played Grand Prix 2, I certainly didn't know or feel anything about low FPS or so. Just it was perfectly fluid. Most smooth game I ever played. I don't know if Ian Bell is a developer at all. I think Ian Bell is a business guy. He puts a project together. He puts people together. He maybe defines tasks and milestones, but he certainly doesn't develop. Well, I think my PC could do it back then. Gone Roberts, yeah, man, I follow him on Twitter. Shame on me, honestly. It's a rare name, okay. Yeah, I don't think Ian Bell is a developer. He's a noisemaker. Well, which is really good that I find in Kunos we don't really have noisemakers. You have to really press people to tell you anything. They don't go out and brag about their game. What would I say? Well, it's ACC any day currently. Why not? A finished game, a working game, which Rennsport so far has to, well, as I said, has to fill some headroom. Well, you don't need a beta key anymore now because it's now public beta or open beta on Epic Store. You can try it out. Maybe you have more luck with the game performance than I do. I don't know what's the matter on this PC here. How about I become a guru for Rennsport? Well, I'm not the guru type. Certainly not. I'm a good driver, okay, but I'm not a like physics nerd. Certainly not. And well, I would if they pay me money. I can do anything, but doubt they will. The first thing they need to address, well, for me in the sim, the most important part is always the driving, and I'm kind of not in line with how it behaves. But I don't think they have the capacity or possibility to change that because they license stuff, because they do not know or they do not have the personnel to build this physics stuff. I think that's when you license stuff, and then maybe you can change parameters in that once you start understanding how it all ties together. But there's a lot of learning to do probably when you're working in somebody else's environment where you don't have experience with. So I'm not sure they will be able to address much of the physics soon. Pen breaks. Well, they licensed the old one, right? But I mean, yeah, the allegation is that they're using the later stuff they haven't actually licensed, but that is nothing I can confirm or deny. And I don't think people honestly care. Like when it's not black and white, people don't care about this stuff. If it's legal, if it's not, people don't care. If the game is good, you can't blame the people playing it, right? But so far, yeah, we had our looks, or we had our look at it, and there's steps to go still. I don't know, sometimes one of the Rennsports guys who are doing the ESL are gonna say, well, it's much better now and you can't push as brutally into the tire and all that anymore. But I think it's down to how they kind of tricked around with the temperature thing and made the car spin around when you push too much due to temperature, but not due to the slip kind of being too much. Hey Jan, I did a summary maybe 5-10 minutes ago or something. Shortly after, probably we switched to full screen camera. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe someone has a clip or so. Yeah, allegedly licensed whatever happened there. Indeed, it is. They're using something in the end, allowed or not, tolerated or not. We don't know. We're not gonna find out. But we see the heritage, right, in the driving and how the temperature evolves on the tire, how things behave, issues that we know from other games, they resurface. So we kind of know where they're landing things from, which is another of these aspects, right? Initially they said they're going to start from scratch, we do everything our own, and then once people find out what, a year ago or a little more, then they had to roll back and say, well, yeah, of course we buy good parts from other places and things like that. It's just kind of PR issue. If they said from the beginning we're building things on R Factor, nobody would have blamed them, because I think in general R Factor is 1 or 2 or whatever engine you're taking. People generally would say R Factor is good physics wise, so they probably wouldn't have had an issue if they just said, look, we're building on top of G motor or G motor 2 or whatever all the terms there are. People will say, yeah, okay, if you can take that and make it a good game, cool, let's look into that. But just saying we do our own and then not actually, that's a bit of an issue. But nothing they can change about that anymore. So. Yeah, I don't know. The people are so focused on creating hype instead of delivering. Well, I don't really know what because right now, if you do something good, then the hype creates itself. I don't know when this knowledge kind of disappeared. for things to go viral, it is best to just be a viral thing, like at its core, right? If you want people to like something, speak about something, make it insanely good. But if you start talking about something before you make it insanely good, yeah, that's gonna backfire all the time, right? So usually it's good to deliver first, and then the PR is gonna do itself. Cyberpunk, I still haven't played it. I was looking forward to it. Just the whole vibe to it felt nice, but now I haven't played a minute of it. I don't even own it. Yeah, let's see what AC Evo has in store for us, because they haven't said a lot, have they? They just said it's gonna come and it's gonna have cars, which is a surprise from a sim racing developer. Ah, yeah, marketplace for cars, fancy liveries. Yeah, we're gonna have RGB fancy liveries in Rennsport with, I don't know, Need for Speed Underground style glow effects or something, which, okay, maybe caters to some people. But I usually sit inside the car. But this could be something that does the PR for them, right? That does the, which does the not the PR, right? People do screenshots of this and clips and all that, so maybe they get some attention from that. Okay, my bottle is empty, so I need to stop streaming. Guys, we'll call it a day. This evening I'm not taking part, but this evening I wish you a lot of fun if you're watching the LFM Pro Series. Probably want to watch someone like, who's driving, Boothby, Luke Whitehead, Malinowski probably. Who else do we have? Champion, Amadeo Castorino. Who else is there? Well, Mabix, of course, and Noah. If you watch the German guys. And we shall be back with video or stream another day. Maybe we do some LFM dailies or so. I want to do some multi-class if they has a... Oh yeah, Huben, of course. But is he really going for it this time? Because I feel he should perform better than he did. He's going for Aston, is he? I think he's going with the Aston. A lot of people are going with the Aston this season, perhaps. It's back, finally. All right, guys. This shall be it. Yeah, next season I will do. This season it was still middle of summer. I just don't have the. I just don't have the. What do you call it? Motivation to drive in 30°C temps outside with the sun out. And spend hours in the rig. So I'm only doing the hours for SRO, where we have in 1.5 weeks the next round on Red Bull Ring. And then we'll drive sim racing in the winter. I think this is what sim racing really should do. Happen in the winter when real racing is paused. That's where we could kind of fill some gaps. But yeah, they always organize the sim racing around the other real life racing events. Why? I'll never get that. We always have to compete with ourselves and the entire real world racing. In winter, I think it will be easier. Thanks, Rudy. Indeed, press like, but I think now, like, the like only matters for suggesting the stream to other people. So it's too late. I have an AC, actually. It's right there. And the good thing about the 4090 is you don't actually have to run it full beams because it's so efficient. In ACC, I'm running it at 200 watts or something, 150 FPS capped. No problem. Runs smooth with everything else in the background as well. So I'm using like 40% or something of the card if needed. Which it's been a true improvement to the room here. The 4090 probably decrease room temperature by 2 degrees or so, and the AC does the rest. All right. I don't have anything else on the table. If you have any suggestions what we should stream or so, I'll take it. Leave it in the comments or put it on Discord or whatever. And then we'll see you. Well, I want to stream soon, okay? We're thanking Case King for sponsoring this channel, which makes it a whole lot easier to find the time in my day. Okay, guys. Have a good one. Check out Popometer.io if you haven't. I have the Mustang bundle out. I have the Porsche bundle out since quite a while. I made a new guide for hardware if you're just starting out. And that's it. Bye, guys. See you soon.